So guys, hopefully you saw and enjoyed the subsoiling and that last clip at the end of the John Deere on the drill. We are now in the field that we saw in being subsoiled. This was drilled on the 17th, I think. Yeah, it was drilled on the 17th. It's now the 11th of November, so it's been about a month. So it's had about a month to grow, and we're going to talk you through how each of these fields look all around here, all the maize and the potatoes, and then maybe today or tomorrow, but it still wouldn't be in this video, I'm going to have a look at the oilseed rape. But it's very nice sunset at the moment, as you can see, and yes, so let's get into showing you the wheat and how it's growing. So we're in this first field, as you can see. So this field and that one over there, next one over, these were both oilseed rape, and there was also another one over those trees. You see those tree line? There's another field over there which was oilseed rape, and basically we harvested them. Obviously I had a video on that, and then I came out here around September-ish time, late August, September, and I flailed this field. See, we didn't spray the rape off this year, so we had to cut it off quite high. So it was probably about knee length, about that high. So it came up to my knee, maybe even higher, maybe my hip. Some of it was really tall. It's probably about 2-3 foot. So I came out here in this field and I actually flailed this. But it didn't really work very well. I had to do this whole field here twice, and it took me 10 hours. Did that in the T5. And yeah, so I did that, and then we disked it. Then came out here with the discs, as you saw in the last video. At the clip we had a video of those, and then we disked this field. This field wasn't flailed, and the other two fields weren't flailed, but they were all disked. And this field definitely was better when it had been flailed. It discs a lot nicer, and it sort of buried a lot more than the other fields. But then basically it got disked. Then I came out here and rolled it with the ring rolls, and there's a video on that. So go and check my channel if you want to look at that. And there's also a video of the disking, which is my first drilling video. There's literally just a clip. So that's what's there. So then we disked all of them. Then they got rolled. So rolling them smashed up quite a bit of this. Quite a bit of the stalks here, as you can see. They're now rotting down quite nicely, and that should be quite good for the soil, but it does attract the slugs, which is a problem. But yeah, rolling it basically smashed any last bits that were standing up. Then we left it for a bit, then we came through with the subsoil, as you just saw. Then we drilled this field with the Amazon, or one of the combination drills. So that's what, so all the rape was disked, subsoiled, and then drilled with the drill with one of the combinations. So yeah, that's what it looks like, and it's growing up very nicely, as you can see. It's growing very good, very well, as I should really say. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the next field. So we're now in the next field. So this field was actually drilled was maize the year before. As you can see, there's quite a lot of maize stubble on. As you can see, quite a bit of maize stalks here. So basically, maize is a spring crop. This was drilled last spring. Didn't get any videos of that, sadly. But as you can see, there is quite a lot of trash on top. Quite a lot of bits of maize, and yeah, the reason being is because we had basically minimum cultivation on this. So obviously, because maize is a spring crop, the ground's still quite loose. So whereas as wheat or oilseed rape is winter, it's got quite a lot of time to establish, and the soil's got quite a lot of time to compact and harden. This doesn't, because it's a spring crop, doesn't have much time. Drilled in about whenever, I don't know, April, May, And yeah, so he just went straight through with the subsoilers, the cousins, and subsoiled it, and then it was drilled with the Varlestad Rapid. And I'm pretty annoyed I didn't get any videos of that, but hopefully next year there will be some. But yeah, it's actually looking pretty good. It's actually looking just as good as that field there. Well, but yeah, it's looking pretty good, as you can see. But this is still wheat. There's quite a lot of trash and stuff, as I've said. But yeah, and that field there, I'll probably have a look at that next. But that is horseradish. So see, I'll go and look at that now. This is the horseradish in this field. So if you don't know, horseradish is a crop which we grow for a sauce, horseradish sauce. And yeah, as you can see, it's also in things like wasabi that you get in sushi packets. So most of wasabi that you get is primarily a horseradish and mustard. And it's we grow it in the same sort of system as potatoes, in our sort of our bed system with the ridges. And it's about 2 years instead of 1, so you plant it spring time, and then you can leave it for 2 years basically. And it looks like this at this time of year. We have actually been harvesting some at the moment, but it is very difficult to harvest, as so it's not really something that you should just go straight into, because you've got it's hard to harvest and it's hard to get a market for it and stuff. But yeah, we do a bit of it. They have been harvesting some, so I might get a video of that before the end of the year, or maybe there'll be another one at the end of the year. But yeah, this is the horseradish. And yeah, so basically we have a flail that comes along and we flail the tops off. We actually got a new flail. Then we have the harvester, which is actually like a turnip harvester, I think. And well, I think it's a turnip harvester, but something like that. It's some root crop harvester, but I think it is turnip. But basically, we were using a de-stoner to harvest it, and then just picking it up off the ground, but that was taking too long. So we got the turnip harvester, and that now harvests that, and it's a lot quicker and easier. And then we just put it into potato boxes on the field. So yeah, let's look at the wheat over there. See those deer, roe deer over there in the wheat. The skies is getting a bit dark now, as you can see, but we've made it into the next field, which is actually well, not actually in the next field yet. We'll be in it when I cross this locker. Right, as you can see here, you sort of see that line of where the maize ends, and then this field starts. So this field was potatoes, and yeah, this field was potatoes, and also drilled with the Varlestad. So because it's also a spring crop, we did the ground sort of loose, and also because it's harvested, because the harvester goes through, disturbs the soil quite a bit. It doesn't really need disking or anything, so we just came through with the subsoilers, subsoiled it, and then it was drilled with the Varlestad. So so that's the wheat. It's looking quite good. It's looking good as well. And yeah, so the field next to it over there is was also potatoes, and that's been drilled into wheat. That one over there was also potatoes, but that hasn't been drilled because it rained. So yeah, but all these fields around us are wheat, except for that one that's horseradish. So hopefully I'll probably get some combining videos out here, and some vlogs if I'm on grain cart or something. And then also baling in these fields, because I'll probably end up baling all of these. So well, most of them anyway. So yeah, so these are the potatoes that went into wheat, and then there's that field, and the field next to that was also drape, and that went into wheat. And then over there there's 3 more fields over that one, and then over there there's 3 more fields that were wheat that have been ploughed and put into a second week, but we'll look at those later on, because there was a video, the last video was that, so I haven't actually had a massive time to be able to grow, so I'll go and have a look at those maybe in a month, maybe at the end of the month, or in December. But yeah, one more thing is that Farming Simulator 22 is coming out on the 22nd, so I will be putting a video up of my sort of first look at it, my first look at the game, because I'm going to pre-order it and I'll get it on whatever day I'll make it, so it'll probably be out at the end of the month. So if you want to look at my first look at the game, I'll be obviously doing a video on that. So if you have any comments about what you think I should do for the first thing, if I should, you know, farm it like you do usually, or do something with the factories on there, or something with the new features. So if you have any comments about that, just put them in any video and I'll look at them. Anyway, I'll meet you back over there, and we might have a look at the oilseed rape. So guys, it is getting dark, so I'm going to make this quick, but as you can see, this oilseed rape is actually growing very well. It's going extremely well. I think this is, I don't actually know the exact date of when this was actually drilled, but if I stop and have a look, it's looking very good. As you can see, there's a bit of volunteer wheat, as you can see here, but apart from that, it's actually very good. As you can see, the rape is very good and lush. So this field was spread with muck. The muck was spread in this field. Then it was disked with the corvone and then rolled, I think. Then we came through and subsoiled it. So come out into a bit of an open bit here. So it's looking not too great as it was in the corners, but it's actually still looking pretty good, as you can see. But then it was subsoiled, and then it was drilled with the combination. So so that's how that went. And then my uncle came out and fertilised it back a couple of weeks ago, back in October. So yeah, although it may look a bit patchy, actually oilseed rape will grow very nicely. It may, even if it looks bad at the start, which it may do to some of you here, being a bit patchy, it will usually shoot up and get really thick. But it's actually looking very good. And yeah, my phone's having a hard time to focus in the light, but yeah, this is one of 2 fields that we have in oilseed rape this year. But yeah, that's the oilseed rape. Guys, it's now part of the video, the second half, where I'm going to talk about beef and how we should not stop eating beef, but only eat certain types of beef. I'm just going to say sorry about the various objects behind me in the mess. I would usually be filming this outside, but it's now dark and I sort of would get this video out today, so sorry about the messy house behind me. But anyway, recently there's been a lot about the climate with COP26 and whatnot, and people saying that we should stop eating beef because it's terrible for the environment, and because of all the methane it produces, and the answer is to plant trees and stop eating meat and go vegan and whatever. And I'm going to explain why that isn't necessarily a good idea, and why trees aren't the answer. It is good to plant trees, and they do recycle carbon, and they do take CO2 out of the atmosphere, and retain the carbon and let oxygen back in the atmosphere. So so they are good, but the problem is with trees is they photosynthesize through their leaves, and they only have their leaves for about half the year-ish, sort of, maybe even less. It's probably about 6 months a year they have their leaves, and then in the winter, obviously they need the energy from their leaves, and they need the glucose and whatever, and then their leaves die off and then fall on the ground. Obviously the tree is now bare, so there's nothing on there, so it's not actually photosynthesizing. I don't know why I can't say it today. But and then obviously all the leaves break down and also produce methane. So yeah, but also methane does actually naturally break down in the atmosphere. I believe it does, so that's not a huge issue necessarily, because it's probably equal. But and also you can also burn it. You can burn the methane to produce energy. It's not as easy, but you can burn it to produce energy, and the byproducts are water and carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide can be taken out in the atmosphere from plants, trees, and stuff. And yeah, so basically, what I'm trying to say here is I don't think we should, in this country, in England, we should be cutting down on the amount of beef we are. Well, I think we should cut down on the amount of beef. I don't think we should be, personally, I don't think we should be importing beef from other countries, and I don't think we should be exporting our own beef or whatever. But I don't think we should have any imports of beef from America and Australia. I think we should just use and eat beef. I'm just going to talk about beef and lamb, beef and lamb, because they are the ones that fart. I'm not going to talk about dairy and whatever, because that's a different sort of subject. But I think we should be just eating beef that has been grown in this country, been reared, the beef that's been reared in this country, specifically 100% grass-fed beef, because that is the best environment. It's carbon neutral, and after like a 10-year cycle or something, it's basically carbon neutral. It may sound like a long time, but it's not really. But yeah, it's carbon neutral, and yeah, it's probably positively impacting the environment more than it is the negative affecting. Because say I have a field of grass, and I have some cows on it, so I'd have that field of grass, say in January. From the start, let's say from the start of the year to the end, I'll graze my cows on that, and they would eat the grass. So constantly keeping it short. Then I may let it grow a bit, and then I'll cut it for hay, and then put the cows back on it, and whatever. And they would basically keep that grass growing, from being short, and it would keep trying to grow. So it'd be putting all its energy into growing, taking in more carbon, and then keep being eaten. Because a plant that is growing, or a tree that is growing, is actually takes in more carbon, or carbon dioxide more specifically, than already grown or standing tree or plant. So by constantly having that grass eaten away, it is actually taking in more carbon. The cows, they do fart, but I'm going to say that is actually a problem. So then, but if I were to leave that field over the year, say I were to just leave it, I wasn't even going to cut it for hay or graze sheep or cows on it. So I would start that, it would grow, it would taking carbon, and then when it sort of gets to a point where it's sort of dying off and going into seed, it would stop taking in as much carbon, and then it would die down, and then it would release the seeds, it would die, and then actually the grass that dies will actually produce the same amount of methane as it would have if you had left the cows, if you had grazed that field of cows. So the actual methane produced is no different whether you have cows on it or you leave it for rewilding, in a sense, for the environment. So having cows on it, you're probably taking in and putting into soil more carbon, and you're also producing beef sustainably for our country. So and lamb and stuff. So that's how we do it. That's how my father and me do it on the farm with our sheep. We have 150 acres of grassland, and we graze our we only have a small herd of about 100 sheep. So, and we graze our 100 sheep on that 150 acres. So we move them from field to field during the year, and then we take cuts of hay off the field as well. So yeah, that's the system we have, and that's sort of that is 100% grass-fed lamb, and yeah. So then so yeah, that's basically what my view is on the matter. and this video is probably quite long by now. But yeah, so 100% grass-fed beef, produced sustainably, and yeah, I think that would be I think that is the way we should do it. I don't think we should cut out beef and lamb and pork and stuff, and dairy products and whatnot, because most of the time it is actually better for the environment than you might think, and what people have said. So yeah, I think I've said everything. I've covered most of the things I wanted to say, and so I think I'm going to end the video there. So yeah, this video is longer than I thought it, and I didn't really want it to be in 2 parts, but there you go. Also, there's going to be some videos on Farm Simulator 22, and because that's coming out on Monday, and so I'm going to do some videos on that. I'm going to do a let's play on it or whatever, so I'm probably going to have 20-30 episodes there. It's just, it's very hard because it is the winter. It's just hard for me to produce videos in the summer, and yeah. Also, I did get a haircut. I got it's a bit crazy at the moment, but I did get a mullet, as you can probably see. I did actually have, my hair was longer than this, and he sort of cut it shorter, but it will grow out, and so yeah, it does look a bit ridiculous, but it's not too bad. It's not that bad. But that's why I was wearing a cap, because my hair's a bit crazy. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please go down and give it a like. Please go check my channel if you do like my content, all things farming and farming simulation and stuff. If you like my content, please subscribe. It's totally free, and yeah, so feel free to leave a comment. Go and check my Instagram and my TikTok out. It's just at Hugo Farms, or Hugo_Farms, or something like that. You'll find it, and there's also a link on my channel. And until next time, hopefully I can see you all again soon, and bye for now.